This is The Great Outdoors with Jason White, exploring the great outdoors in Pennsylvania and beyond. Brought to you by the Mariana Outdoorsmen Association and by Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Now, The Great Outdoors with Jason White.
Hello, friends. I'm Jason White. Welcome to The Great Outdoors. I have an exciting show for you today. We're going to be diving into agritourism, travel and tourism. We're going to be talking about a little bit of Sunday hunting legislation, some legislative updates that have happened in the past couple weeks here in Pennsylvania. But before I do that, I want to give a special thanks to the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. You can join the MOA today, marianaoutdoors.com, currently running a 30% summertime special, 1,000-yard rifle range, 2 different pistol ranges, 2.5 miles of private trout fishing, additionally campsites, upland bird hunting, practice clay pigeon range. The list goes on and on. Also 3D archery. Hate to miss that. Dove hunting, upland bird hunting opens back up in September. You can currently run your dog through the summer to keep them in shape, and got a lot of trails that we've got cut for folks to utilize. So if you'd like to come out and check it out, we'd be happy to have you. You can always give us a call at 724-579-0924. Love to give you a tour and show you around our facilities. Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. If you're looking to book a corporate event, wedding, party, birthday, anything like that, we'd love to have you. 10milesco.org, 724-579-0924. Additionally, if you're looking to book an upland bird hunt, trophy trout fishing trip, free-ranging whitetail deer hunt, or a springtime free-ranging turkey hunt, again, give us a call at 724-579-0924, 10milesco.org. All of our hunts are free range, absolutely no fence of any kind or capacity. And special thanks to Washington County Travel, Tourism, and Promotion Agency. Please visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. Greatly appreciative to them. First and foremost, I want to give a little bit of a legislative update regarding 2 different bills out of the Pennsylvania House and Senate. Senate Bill 518 and House Bill 1431. I know I've been talking for a long time, and probably some people are sick and tired of hearing about Sunday hunting. But thank goodness, after years of efforts, I know I said this the last time I was on the show a couple weeks ago, applauding all the relationships and friendships and just all the hard work from everybody. I can't really name everyone, but whether that's the legislators, Farm Bureau members, leadership, folks in our different coalitions, everybody knows who you are. So thank everybody. It's great to see that the hunting community and the agriculture community have come together. But I wanted to just give a little bit of a highlight here, synopsis of these bills. Senate Bill 518 was introduced by Senator Greg Rothman, which amends Title 34. It's the Pennsylvania Game Code. It says Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, which states that it is unlawful to refuse to answer questions from representatives of the Game Commission, which violating the Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which ensures no person may be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. Senate Bill 518 passed the House on June 25th. The Senate voting unanimously in concurrence. The bill advances to the governor's desk to be signed into law. Which I believe that was done yesterday morning. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that was already taken care of. Additionally, House Bill 1431, which is introduced by Representative Steele, helps with addressing crop damage by addressing Sunday hunting. The blue law will be rescinded. We're one of the last states with. Well, we're the only state with the way we were set up with the 3 days. But additionally, the bill addresses criminal trespass. Both bills have some other key pieces in them, including, how do I want to say this here? The board seat for the Game Commission regarding a commissioner having some type of agricultural background. Again, that's no reflection of the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau. It's just somebody having the appropriate knowledge, which is extremely important, which I think is very, very important. But this has been an ongoing effort with these different bills. So I'm really pleased because in total there's, from what I counted, at least 5 or 6 different Farm Bureau policies that were kind of key pieces of these pieces of legislation, whether you're talking about Sunday hunting, whether you're talking about the let's see here, obviously the ability to additionally address crop damage, the ability to have the ag person with knowledge on the board, the criminal trespass being addressed when it comes to hunting and trapping, the your additional rights regarding, being questioned by the Game Commission, and then also the way that you report and can transport crop damaged deer. So all good things, fantastic things, actually. I know I've said this before, but, this is kind of like a monumental period in history for Pennsylvania. Kind of crazy to think, but, this is the first time that this has ever happened in our history as a Commonwealth. So, again, I'd like to give a kudos to everybody involved. Can't say thank you enough. The amount of work that's went into it, advocacy, partnerships, collaborations. It's really been fostered here over the past, I would say, 2 years, 2.5 years. So, I got involved with the Farm Bureau January of 2022. We voted on Sunday hunting that fall in November. And I would say since that point in time, it's kind of been full steam ahead with pursuing these bills as a package. So again, our membership wanted to see multiple policies incorporated into these ideas. And not only did we achieve such a notion, but we got, if you add the different topics here, plus if you add into it the Certified Hunter Program, which didn't even need to be added because the Game Commission already, from I would say advocacy, they kind of got the ball rolling themselves and are doing the pilot program here in Southwest PA. That's another one. So you're talking 6 or 7 different policies. That's fantastic. I don't want to say it's unprecedented, but I've not heard of the Farm Bureau achieving so many positive things collectively with 2 different bills ever. I don't want to say that it's never happened, but to my knowledge, I'm unaware of it ever happening. So, again, I thank everybody. And, truly and sincerely, I look forward to the future because there's a lot of things that we need to collectively do to work together. Crop damage has really been bad here in Southwestern Pennsylvania. Again, that's why the Certified Hunter Program was set up in Southwest PA as a pilot program because so many people are being devastated. And it's something that we all need to work together on. And look, these bills do not resolve everything. There's a lot of other things that need to be discussed and addressed. A lot of solutions need to be implemented. But as the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. But for the fact that we got all these different solutions involved and implemented into 2 different legislative packages is very impressive. It's very important. So again, I applaud everybody involved. A lot of this started even within our Fayette County Farm Bureau, where I originate from. So I thank everybody. Thank everybody. Can't say thank you enough. It's so important to build relationships and friendships, especially in politics, because you got to be able to focus on what your common ground is if you really want to get things done. So again, thank you to everybody. I want to shift gears because I'll circle back on the legislative stuff in the future once the governor officially signs all bills and everything is 110% a done deal. And once we get some updates from the Game Commission as far as like timing, so on and so forth. But I want to switch gears. I just got back from a trip to Greece. I went and saw some historical sites. I was basically all across the country for 2 weeks. But the thing that was fascinating to me, and it really hit home for me, was their passion for agriculture. Agritourism is literally ingrained into their society. And I had talked in past episodes, a few years ago, I went to Costa Rica, and it was a very similar, I would say, idea. It was a very similar culture of how they saw the importance of agriculture, not only their economy, but also to just their the normal day-to-day lives, healthy living, passing that knowledge down from generation to generation. Costa Rica was obviously a little different, more of a Caribbean feel, more of the I would say excursions on land, as far as like just it was just a different setup. Obviously, Costa Rica is clearly different from Greece, but Greece, what it was fascinating is I've been to these two different countries, different parts of the world, but as far as they may be behind technologically and even from their business infrastructure, their agricultural sector and more importantly, agritourism is light years, and I cannot stress, light years beyond where we are, not only in Pennsylvania, but I would even say within the United States as a whole. So kind of like envision this whole idea. You go in, you get a hotel, you have a tour guide, which knows the history, which basically there's a whole thing kind of laid out where you can go to along your journey from place to place. So we literally get there, hotel, you end up going to a local restaurant, getting some true Greek style food, which was truly fantastic. And I'm talking not just food. I'm even talking down to the wine, talking down to the beer, the water bottles, everything was geared at Greece. So it was all about being original or originating from Greece as a whole. So every aspect of this trip was very unique in that capacity, because you didn't look down and pick up, a box or pick up a water bottle or pick up anything and it say that it was made in some other country, which I thought was truly fascinating right out of the gate. But they were so proud of their culture, of their history. And then as we would go through day to day, we took a bus and we had a tour guide and we would go to historical sites. So I want you to think about this from Pennsylvania's perspective. We're here. So let's just start in Philadelphia. Let's just say that we started a trip in Philadelphia just to compare trip to trip. So we started in Athens, which is where they have their international airport. So we'll use Philadelphia as a great example. It kind of connects internationally. Started off with local food, which I'm sure Philadelphia were to have. Went to history the next day, which was truly fantastic. Greece has some amazing history for thousands and thousands of years. Every day we would go to a historical location. We would go to basically a mom and pop or a local restaurant for lunch, or we would go to a local farm. Range as we kind of progressed through our different trips, we went through different venues. We were at a local winery. We got to go to a local honey farm, which was fascinating. We went through some different orchards that we got to just kind of see their processes and procedures. We got to learn about olive oil, which I thought was fantastic. But as we progressed through place to place, it was amazing to me because they truly cherished and valued the land. And if you ever get to go to Greece, you'll understand what I mean. And it's even like Costa Rica. There's a lot of places that you cannot plow the ground. There's places that are very rocky and treacherous, and it's just not feasible for agriculture. And in some capacities, this is a lot like, I would even say in some capacities like Pennsylvania, but the difference would be they don't have like hard timber or big trees on their mountainous areas, not like we do here in PA. We're blessed. We are absolutely blessed with the hardwoods and even the forests that exist across the entire the entire state, even on our, I would say, our rockier, treacherous ground. But everywhere that they could plant something, and I'm talking from smallest of small farms to bigger farms, they were planting everything from oats to rye to wheat to orchards to vineyards to, and I'm talking like, imagine smaller farms, but every square inch of that property was being utilized. It was truly unbelievable to me because I was just like, wow, like look at this. But the farms aren't huge there, which again comes back to the correlation of Pennsylvania. It's like, well, what are they doing? They all operate under as collective co-ops. So that's like the foundation of how they operate in Greece. Basically, look at it from a county perspective. So even if I look at it from the Farm Bureau, however you want to say it, they have collective co-ops. There's a place for them to take all their goods. I've talked about this a lot, about the need for centralized locations for ag products to be taken to. We don't have it. We don't have it in Fayette County. We do not have it in Washington County. We don't have it in Greene County. We don't have it in Southwestern Pennsylvania. We don't have it in Pennsylvania as a whole. The Greeks get it. Even in Costa Rica, they got it. You have to have centralized hubs for small farms to be able to take their goods to. We cannot expect people to have small farms and to not have market access. So it was amazing to me. And then, we went to other facilities along the way. We went to, I mentioned about a winery, I mentioned about olives, I mentioned about honeys and bees and the beeswax, the medicinal things they were doing, skin creams. Let's see here. We also saw a lot of different types of fruit, which I thought was very interesting. Obviously, we can grow tremendous fruit in Pennsylvania. Then you go down to a lot of fresh fruits. They were very big about healthy food. You wouldn't sit down and, like, if you have your coffee, you're not putting 10 scoops of sugar into it. It's just not how it is or was. Things are smaller portions, but not to where you can't enjoy a meal. Mediterranean salad isn't necessarily the lettuce. It's tons of onions and peppers and tomatoes and truly delicious. But the point being is that everything's predominantly fresh. They try to utilize goods and resources from the smallest of farms. I mean, literally the honey farm that I went to was, the people couldn't have had more than a few acres tops. And literally we went into a kitchen of somebody's house and they had all of their different products set up on a couple tables that they make, from, their like lip balms to hand creams to honey in jars. I mean, it was kind of fascinating to see even something so small being able to produce goods. Soaps were a big commodity, utilizing herbs, utilizing the olive oil combined with salt. That's how they were making their soaps, which that was fascinating. We got to go to a local house. And basically they had set up, and it was almost like a cooking class, just showing how to make some local dishes, which was fascinating. But when I stepped back and I looked at it, I was like, holy smokes, like, they're literally appreciative of the smallest farm to a mid-sized farm to a big farm, and they're all working together. They value the small business as much as they do the medium size or the big business. And for me, like when I look at Pennsylvania, I think that that's something that we've really lost sight of. Maybe it's something we've lost sight of in American culture because we've become so industrialized with even some of the bigger farms, which we so heavily rely on. But what I've talked about this so much in the past is like even it brings up the need for regional hubbed locations for us to take goods. And I'm even talking animals for us to have butchering facilities. We astronomically lack the ability to take our goods and for it to be sold back into the system. We're basically avoiding the freshness. We're avoiding innovation and ideas because we don't have market access. Over there, they get it. They get it because it is agritourism, tourism, agriculture as a whole. If you want to combine all three with what agritourism is, they understand that that is the backbone of their society. It is what it is, and they're not going to waste land for unnecessary ideas. For example, there's so many conversations and discussions, even in Fayette County, Pennsylvania, about solar panels. Solar panels are something that are an energy resource, something to utilize and can be incorporated. It's not something that I ever think can be 100% relied on, especially in Pennsylvania, considering we have more cloudy days than we actually do sunny days. But point being, the thing that's fascinating over there, they're not like destroying farms with solar panels. They're on top of the barns. They're on top of the industrial buildings. Like literally, I was on a plane looking down as we were flying over some industrial buildings. The roofs are just covered with solar panels. They're not just like destroying land for the sake of destroying it, because those people are making money off of honey. Those people are making money off of fruits and vegetables because they have market access. They have a place to take their things. So they don't have to raise the white flag and say, I give up. I'm just going to put solar panels over my property. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because they have access. If you have access, you will have creativity. If you have access, your economy will grow. If you have access, you will have growth not only within that community, county, region, but think about it, folks. Like when we talk about this idea of connectivity, like we are not utilized. Like think of Pennsylvania. Think of all the history from Philadelphia to Harrisburg to holy smokes, from the Civil Wars to the Revolutionary War. Think of everything around Pittsburgh and Southwest PA, from the Flight 93 Memorial to all the historical sites in Pittsburgh, the Century Inn in Little Scenery Hill, Pennsylvania, to the Summit Inn in Uniontown, to everything at Ohio, Powell, Kentucky Knob, Falling Water. The list goes on and on. There's so many things. But think about it. There's so many small farms, so many local places with local food and fare. Like that's what we need, that idea of unifying everybody together and understanding that it's okay to be the small farm. You don't have to necessarily be the big one to be successful. But it's all about access. It's about the idea of bringing these people together. And then if you're somebody that wants to do meats or you want to do other commodities and you need a larger facility to take your products, again, this is why we need the hubs. This is why we need the business parks that are geared at agriculture, that are promoting agriculture, that are utilizing agricultural products, that are piggybacking off of each other. And I know I've given this example in the past, but you could use like a dog and cat food company. Dog and cat food companies utilize different grains. They're utilizing different types of fish. They're utilizing lamb, chicken, beef, pork, etc. to create their foods. And from that, processing those animals, you then have byproducts. Those byproducts can be utilized for other dog and cat food treats. They can be used for other medicinal reasons. There's a lot of other benefits that can come of utilizing all resources, piggybacking off of each other. But you have to have places to take things for this idea to exist, for this unification of these agricultural products to exist, for the little person to see an opportunity. We just haven't done that. And it's fascinating to me that I go halfway around the world, whether that's been to Central America or to Europe, and to see these countries that latch on to what they have and appreciate what they have. And in many ways, I feel like we have lost sight of what has made us. We've lost sight of the value that we have. We've lost sight of the value of land, or property. We've lost sight of our culture. And we have to shift gears, and we have to have an economic strategy that captivates agritourism, that promotes these small farms, these stops along the way that have great things. And like I said, that could be from something as simple as honey to wine to breweries to you name it. We have people that do wool from sheep. We have people that have sunflower farms that make sunflower oils. The lists go on and on and on. There's people that have even just smaller style hobby farms where they're just raising an array of animals, trying to basically live off the land as best they can. And you have to remember, like, when you talk about agritourism, you have to think of it very broadly. And you also have to think of economic development and connectivity when it comes to bigger stuff. So like, when I mentioned about the dog food and cat food, etc., or if I even wanted to talk about, say, making a cow into a hamburger, if you take these ideas, there's the local economy. So that's your local, somebody buying something directly at this hub location. That is taking those goods and commodities and selling them back into local grocery stores, local restaurants. So that's your local economy. Then you get more into your regional or interstate economy. So that could be multiple counties being impacted by this idea. That could be people crossing state lines to come for goods and services. Then you get into the whole idea of the international aspect of it, which is a big deal when you look at duties and tariffs. When you start looking at international trade, because, we get too stuck, especially in Pennsylvania, with the local. And the local is critical, but we don't even have the hubs set up for people to truly take their goods and commodities. And without having that connectivity to the other states, let alone even, I would even say more of a regional approach, we're kind of boxed in right now. Because we don't even have the local stuff set up properly to where we're not captivating the regional approach. We're not captivating other states. And then the big one is we're one country in a big world, a global economy. And we, even if you're a little business owner, wants to send, let's say you're a honey farmer, and you want to do honey and you want to send it jars to a country maybe that doesn't have honey. Because I am sure that there are countries out there that could utilize honey. Especially think of it from places that are extremely cold. Places that are extremely cold are not going to have great opportunities to have obviously good honey yields because their summers would be extremely short, and they're not going to get high volume yields. Somewhere like, think of it like people that live in Alaska or people that live in different parts of Canada. They're not going to have the market access to certain goods and services that we might necessarily have here in the United States, just based upon weather, terrain, so on and so forth. So you got to look at it from like, what things do other countries need that we have, and what can we provide? And that is market access on an international scale. And again, if you do not have the hubs set up to collect the goods It's impossible for a small farmer. I don't want to say it's impossible. That's probably a bad way to say it. It's nearly impossible, or next to being impossible, for a small farm to go and make a deal with foreign countries for goods. Typically, they're going to want bulk commodities. Again, this is why you need the ability to have regional co-ops. We need regional facilities to accept goods and services. We need to have processing facilities to process goods, whether that's packaging, redistribution, whether that's processing of meats. Create, the ability to connect everybody together is what we're missing. We're missing the conduits. We're missing that. We're missing a path. We're closed off. We're boxed off. And that's, people do not have market access. And market access is the key for economic stability, let alone market growth, economic growth, and economic prosperity. If you do not do that, and you simply rely extremely local and do not have a good economic strategy, it's almost cyclical where you will eat yourselves. And that is why you continue to see little farm after little farm after little farm falling off the wayside, even medium-sized farms. Because guess what? They do not have market access. They do not have the ability to take their goods. Look at something like hay. There are states that absolutely and desperately could utilize hay that could be produced right here in Pennsylvania. A lot of the Midwestern states, Texas for certain, Florida, they are humongous hay consumers, but they obviously are drier. They're more susceptible to weather patterns. If they do not have good conditions, or let's say they had a fire or something like that, it's extremely detrimental to them. So to be able to have a good commodity, Pennsylvania is a great legume state. So, your grasses, the different types of the greens that the different consumers would want, that is something that could be negotiated and sold bulk to different parts of not only the country, but the world. And we're not talking just for consumption with livestock. You're talking even you're talking even from an industrial perspective. Whenever people are doing projects, especially like construction projects, there's a lot of stuff that goes into soil and erosion prevention, erosion and sediment control, by utilizing hay and different seeds and commodities, even in that capacity. So there's so many opportunities. But again, I cannot stress the fact that these other countries halfway around the world that astronomically lack the technology that we have, that lack the rail systems, that lack the roadway systems, especially the roadway systems and the rail systems, lack the river access that we have. But yet, even with all those, I would say, hurdles against them, they captivate the smallest of farms, the mid-sized farms. They captivate their history. Their history is ingrained into who they are as a culture. Think about what I'm saying today of what we're not doing and what we have. Think about the properties that used to be big farms, even small farms. Think about the stuff that's closed, the fact that we're now talking about basically packing up shop on a lot of agricultural opportunities. To me, I just see that's what I see as opportunity. To go to these other countries, I've been blessed. If you ever have the opportunity and you can, I highly recommend it. Go travel and see the world, because you'll better appreciate the United States. But also you come up with these innovative ideas because you look at what people are doing and they're just utilizing what they have. They're not ignoring what they have. They're not ignoring those opportunities. They're maximizing them. They're captivating them. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, certainly there's a lot of things that they could do better, that they're way behind us on. But it's the fact that, for me, I look at it as what can we do better? And agritourism, from connectivity of the history, small farms, medium-sized farms, the different array of what actually classifies as agriculture, I think is truly an amazing thing for us to be able to do. I think we're not doing it nearly, not even at the tip of the iceberg of what we could do. And two, when you look at the commercialized side of it, for giving small farms, medium-sized farms, and even large operation regional hubs to take your goods and commodities, it's just not. We don't have it. We don't have access, and without market access, it does not matter what you do. You're going to live in a box, and that's where we're at with agriculture right now. Is we're in a box, and we have to look at it from a perspective of we're in a glass house and there's walls there. And however we have to break those walls down, take a hammer, shatter it, and we have to reach out. Because again, no matter what you do, if you look at it simply from you're going to continue to do the same thing and expect a different result, that is ultimately the definition of insanity. We have to look at it of how do we change our course? How do we resolve our problems? How do we implement solutions? And I go to the simplest ideas of the solar panels. How in the that has become such a, every time I turn around, that is a debate, an argument, a political argument. It's a discussion, a conversation. It's constantly a bickering fest of people from different perspectives. But you go to another country, and it's not an argument. It's like, utilize all your buildings first. Every aspect. Utilize all the buildings. Get the rooftops covered. Utilize dead space above parking lots. Areas that are completely desolate or destitute. Utilize everything that you can. But we're not, you look at it from Pennsylvania, and we're sitting here arguing about, we want to put them on farms, and we want to do this, and we want to do that, and the root of the problem is that we're ignoring the opportunity of how can we make money on the land, how can we give that farmer access to want to utilize their land, or maybe they want to try to do something else innovative, but if they don't have access, putting a solar panel all on your fields is just simply an escape. Because it's the easier option, because we do not have an economic system currently that truly utilizes capitalism for what it's meant to be. Because if you're not going to offer market access, then basically people are cut off, and you're not truly captivating capitalism on a full grand scale of what it's meant to be, what it should be. And even like I'm saying, in these other countries, even the smallest farm has access to be able to go to their local communities, businesses, selling on a regional scale. So, heck, with it, I went to the winery, veggie farm, olive farm. I mean, they even had art stuff for sale that was all geared around agriculture, which I thought was fascinating. Everybody was promoting their history. Everything was kind of intertwined and captivating, like so proud of where they came from. And that's just, I hope that people will really appreciate what I'm saying. Think about it. Think about how we can improve agriculture. But we have to take the appropriate strides to utilize co-ops, regionalization, working together. And I'm not just talking about ag products working together. I'm talking about hotels. I'm talking about restaurants. I'm talking about tours, showing people, bringing people from other places to come here and see what we have to offer. Establishing shipping ports, points of entry, places that people can pay duties and tariffs. Goods and services can come from other countries, and us, obviously, with the intent of trade is to have fair trade and even trade for us to be able to sell our goods and services to other parts of the world. But, there's a lot to discuss. I look forward to a lot more conversations and episodes here, discussing economic development. But, like I said, agritourism, please look it up. Foreign trade, regional shipping ports, shipping hubs, duties, tariffs, all key words, terminologies that are critical for us to really move forward, because Pennsylvania just has so much to offer, and we should all want more. We should want to capitalize on every opportunity that we have, whether it's our rich heritage, history, the amazing arts that we have here in Pennsylvania, the natural beauties, historical monuments, military battlefields, rivers, rails to trails, list goes on and on of just the beauties that we have. But until next week, I want to give a special thanks once again to our sponsors, the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. You can join the MOA today at marianaoutdoors.com. Schedule a tour today at 724-579-0924. 10 Mile Creek Outfitters, which manages Wild Acres Farm. If you'd like to book a wedding, a corporate event, party, so on and so forth, give us a call, 724-579-0924, 10mileco.org. And also through 10 Mile Creek Outfitters, if you look to book an upland bird hunt, trophy trout fishing trip, free-range whitetail hunt, turkey hunt, give us a call, 724-579-0924. And last but not least, special thanks to Washington County Travel, Tourism, and Promotion Agency. Please visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. I'm Jason White. It's great to be back. This was the Great Outdoors. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Have a blessed 4th of July, and talk to you all very soon.
And you're listening to WMB.